Hi, everybody. Today we'll be talking about the 1990s. In particular, we'll be talking about sports of the 90s, entertainment of the 90s, and some just important events that people should know. Beginning with sports, we'll be talking about the NBA, the MLB, and the NFL. So to start with the NBA, we'll be talking about the Chicago Bulls, who three-peated twice, which means that they won 3 NBA championships 2 times in the 90s, totaling up for 6. That is an incredible feat. I don't believe that any other team has ever done that before. Their first stretch was from 1991 to 1993. Following the 93 title, Michael Jordan, all-time greatest basketball player ever, retires. He takes a year off, plays professional baseball, doesn't do so great, decides that he's going to come back, and from 95 to 98, they actually three-peat again. And then Michael goes on to continue his career with the Wizards and retires from the league. Talking about the MLB, we'll be talking about my favorite team, the Yankees. Their success in the 90s really began in 1996 when they drafted the captain, Derek Jeter, all-time favorite baseball player ever. What's not to love about Jeter? I can't help it. He's just my favorite player. In 1996, Jeter's rookie year, the Yankees won the World Series. They had an off year in 97, but coming back in 1998 and 1999, they won the World Series again. They have 27 World Series all time, and that's the most amongst any team in the MLB. What's not to love about the best team, right? I mean, I can't help it. My dad loved them. I love them. So that's how that's going to have to work. NFL quarterbacks. In particular, we'll be talking about Troy Aikman, John Elway, Brett Favre, and Steve Young. Sorry, forgot Steve Young. All of the statistics from the quarterbacks that I'm getting ready to talk about come from ShareRanks.com. Steve Young was a one-time Super Bowl winner in the 90s. John Elway actually closed his career out with his first and second Super Bowl titles, and he retired after his second one. Number 3 was Troy Aikman, who probably had the most success in the 90s, winning 3 Super Bowls, and Brett Favre, one of the all-time greatest quarterbacks to ever play. He holds most every record in the NFL today. Moving on to the second topic, the entertainment of the 90s. I've broken that down into video games, music groups, and popular movies. Starting at video games. The first handheld video game device was the Nintendo Game Boy, and along with that, I always kind of put Pokemon together. I used to play Pokemon all the time when I was little, and so that just makes me think about video games in the 90s. Moving on to music, had bands such as Nirvana, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and my favorite group to actually work out to is Limp Bizkit, along with various other groups that really shaped the decade. We'll go to popular movies, which would include Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino's huge hit. It's probably one of my favorite movies to watch. I don't know why. Second, we'll go to Saving Private Ryan, which is still viewed every year, just because of its great depiction of World War II. And third, we will go to Titanic, because you can't talk about movies of the 90s and not mention Titanic. It's still one of the greatest movies all time. So we'll move on to important dates and events of the 90s. Start out in 1991 with Desert Storm. Desert Storm was actually retaliation against the Iraqis for attacking Kuwait to take their oil fields. They felt, I guess, like it was their land, and so the U.S. intervened and shut that down. In 1997, scientists cloned Dolly the sheep I actually discussed Dolly a little bit in my last video, speaking about stem cell research. It's a very controversial topic. I guess it was back then too, but it really opened the door to stem cell research with Dolly. In 1998, you had President Clinton's impeachment on the grounds of perjury, obstruction of justice, witness tampering, and abuse of power. Also listed in that document was the relationship with Monica Lewinsky, who we all know Clinton had the affair with in the White House. All of those come from history1900s.about.com. So thank you all for watching the video, and I look forward to seeing your feedback.